Hello and welcome to No Such Thing as a Fish presents the World Cup of Facts. This is the only football podcast out there that makes absolutely no mention of the sport whatsoever. Brought to you by the QI Elves in association with visitengland.com. My name is Dan Schreiber and joining me today is Andy Murray, James Harkin and Anna Ptaszynski, and today's match is Spain versus Netherlands. Okay, let's kick off. What's quite interesting about Spain?
I want to mention the most brilliant festival in Spain, baby jumping. It's a traditional Spanish holiday that dates back to 1620, and you lay out babies on the street and people jump over them as far as they can, and it's supposed to rid the babies of sin, which is pretty damn cool.
Brilliant.
Unless it's your baby.
I have a matching festival which involves goat tossing. It's celebrated in Manganeses de la Polvorosa, and a bit of the ceremony is where a group of young men throw a live goat from the top of a church, and then a crowd catches it in a big sheet. But animal rights groups got very annoyed about this. And
health and safety gone mad.
The practice was banned, and but they did throw one in the 2014 celebration.
They have rat tossing as well, a rat tossing festival. It's in El Puig in Spain. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. They love to toss animals.
I have a fact about Spain.
Yeah?
When did the Spanish Armada end?
1588.
No, it's still going.
What?
Yep, the Spanish Navy is still called the Armada Española.
Well, Spain produces more wine than France. It has the largest area of vineyards in the world, and last year, for the first time, it overtook France in wine production.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, they produce a lot of rabbits.
Yes.
They farm rabbits, more than 30 million a year.
That'll be why the word Spain means land of rabbits, doesn't it? It comes from a Phoenician word meaning land of rabbits.
That's one of two theories. The other is that it just means Western land, which is a bit more boring, but it's nicer to think it means
Let's
land
go
of
with the
rabbits.
rabbit one.
Yeah, I like the rabbit one.
On Spanish rodents, Spain doesn't have a tooth fairy, it has a tooth mouse, and you leave your tooth under a pillow, and ratoncito takes away your tooth and brings you a present in return.
That's a fantastic name. Is it true that the Spanish have the longest life expectancy?
I'm not sure they beat Japan, but they're the world's largest exporter of olive oil.
Yes.
So that's got to help.
Well, not if you're exporting it all.
That's a good
They were
point.
drinking all the olive oil, maybe.
That is surprising, right? They beat France in wine and Italy in olive oil.
Yeah.
I feel like we
Yeah,
give them
that
enough
is
credit.
surprising, yeah.
And they invented the mop.
The Spanish invented the mop.
A Spanish man invented the mop.
He stuck a stick on a rabbit.
Yep. To give the guy credit who invented it, he also invented the two-piece disposable syringe.
How can you invent a mop?
He was an aeronautical engineer, so I don't really know how.
I think people
he
have been
stumbled
mopping
upon.
before they've been aeronautical engineers.
No one thought to put a stick on it.
What else did they invent? Were they famous? Are the Spanish famous?
In the 9th century, Spain was by far and away the most forward-thinking place in the world. In Cordoba, they had hospitals with running water, they had baths, they had specialist departments for different ailments. The hospitals had to stay open for 24 hours for anyone who was sick. They had the world's first municipal bins and waste disposal, and they had Europe's first streetlights.
Wow.
In Cordoba. So it was like a proper awesome place to be. It was during the Arab Spain time.
Not that we're not saying it's an awesome place to be now, because it is, but it's not as well lit.
Can I give you guys my favorite Spanish fact?
Yes, please.
I think it's probably the best Spanish fact. They have the longest person serving a jail sentence in the world.
Wait,
Sorry, let me say that again.
Longest by minutes or inches?
A really high prison cell.
They have to keep them in the exercise yard.
The longest jail sentence ever given. This was in March of 1972. It was to a 22-year-old guy called Gabriel, and he got his sentence because he failed to deliver 42,768 letters. So he was accused of fraud. He got given a sentence of 384,911 years.
So the laws in Spain are quite strange. There's a new child protection bill that means that children under 18 have a joint responsibility to help at home. And in accordance with their age and regardless of their gender, they have to do housework by law.
What happens if they don't? Extremely
Very long prison sentences.
Very extremely long.
Okay, this is cool. The King Alfonso XIII of Spain was completely tone deaf, and wherever he went, he was accompanied by an advisor called the Anthem Man, whose job was to advise the king if any tune was the national anthem, so he could stand up during it. What a sweet job to audition for! Can you imagine the interview for that job?
Yeah, but you could just any old music. Oh, it's a national anthem again.
Yeah.
There's an ice cream van going by. Oh no, it's a national anthem.
Okay, that was the halftime whistle there, which means it's time for our halftime show, which is brought to you by visitengland.com, and that comes in the form of a QI quiz. We've got 3 questions for you to ponder over as we make our way to the second half. So the first question is from James.
Yes, my first question is, where in England do they make delicious brown ale?
Okay. Question number 2 from Andy.
Okay, my question is, what historical event completely ruined William Shakespeare's 52nd birthday?
And question number 3 from Anna.
My question is, which English city has more trees per person than any other European city?
Okay, well, if you want to find out the answers to those questions, stay tuned till the end of the match where we will reveal them then. But until then, it's time for the second half. And it's the Netherlands. What have we got? And so, with storming their way to victory is Spain.
Okay, the all-time best QI fact about the Netherlands has got to be the fact that in 1672, an angry mob of Dutchmen killed and ate their prime minister.
Wow!
He was called Johan de Witt, and he was the prime minister, and they ended up lynching him, ripped his body apart, and then some people apparently ate bits of it. But it's not just prime ministers. There was a TV show in the Netherlands. It was called Proef Koningin. That is absolutely not how to pronounce that word. And the 2 presenters underwent surgery to remove small pieces of flesh from their bodies and ate each other.
That was broadcast.
It was broadcast, and one of the presenters says, It was just a few centimetres of meat, and now I have a good story about that scar.
It's like Come Dine With Me, but it's just Come Dine Me.
So if you want to insult someone in Dutch, you accuse them of having an illness, and loads of their swear words and insults are things like, I won't be able to pronounce any of these. Clereliger is a slang word meaning cholera sufferer. Kriesjetering is catch the tuberculosis. Opleuren is literally to tuberculosis off.
Tuberculosis off! Get the tuberculosis out of here.
Kanker, the word for cancer, you just shout kanker at people, or get cancer at people.
Get cancer. Oh, tuberculosis yourself.
Yeah.
I want to hear those. We should start using that.
There must be mild ones as well, like eczema yourself.
Yeah.
Snotty nose.
Yeah.
I have some other sayings. So a lot of them seem to be monkey related. So an urban legend is known as a monkey sandwich story, which is great. If someone's given away something about themselves by mistake, you say, the monkey comes out of the sleeve. And if you want to say just do it, or let's get on with it, let's go, you say go with that banana.
The Dutch claim that they have the tallest people in the
do.
world.
Yeah.
Sure they do, yeah.
I think they have the tallest people because 25% of the Netherlands is below sea level. So I've decided that they have the tallest people as like a survival thing so that they can keep their heads above water.
When the water rises.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very sound theory.
I think it is.
They changed the rules so that doors have to be higher now. They have to be 7'6.5" high because Dutch people are so tall. In 1848, 1 man in 4 was rejected by the Dutch military because he was shorter than 5'2". But today it's fewer than 1 in 1,000 people are that size.
Wow.
So they've grown massively in the last 100 years, actually.
They have the person who always accompanies Santa Claus in the Netherlands.
Black Peter, is it?
Black Peter. People in the Netherlands do black up to celebrate. It's an old tradition, but it is controversial now.
Yeah, there's a BBC News report here saying that they're calling time on Black Pete Fun in the Netherlands.
Well, there's a big campaign to stop it, but there's also a big campaign to keep it because they think it's part of their tradition.
One bad thing about the Netherlands is the national anthem, where one of the lines is, "To the King of Spain, I've granted a lifelong loyalty." Which, if they're up against Spain...
That's copy and paste gone badly wrong, isn't it?
Why does it say that? Just for historical reasons from when they were... They should have rewritten that. Come on, they've had 400 years. They have the ultimate James Bond. He was a Dutch MI6 agent called Peter Tazelaar, and he was sent to The Hague as a spy undercover, and he was in a wetsuit, and he washed up on the beach and unzipped his wetsuit. This was in the Second World War, I think. Unzipped his wetsuit, was wearing a tux underneath, swanned into a casino, and did his spy work.
How do we know that?
It was only revealed about 3 years ago.
Was it him saying,
No,
this is how cool I was back then? I used to do this thing. Yeah.
He then lost £100,000 in the casino.
Yeah.
So they love their royal family. They spend more money on their royal family than we do. And their crown jewels are made partly of fish scales.
Wow.
I think it was in the 19th century they remade the crown jewels. And yeah, they're made of glue, paste, and tiny copper balls and gelatin and fish scales.
They're made from their version of Blue Peter.
Yeah, it was basically a DIY.
It's called Black Peter.
Okay, that's the final whistle, and before we decide who's won today's match, we're very quickly going to reveal the answers to the halftime show brought to you by visitengland.com, and they are... James?
Okay, my question was, where in the UK do they make brown ale? It's called Newcastle Brown Ale, but it's made in Tadcaster and has been done there since 2010. It's a trick question.
Yeah. Okay, Andy, Shakespeare.
The historical event which ruined Shakespeare's 52nd birthday was the death of William Shakespeare. He died. He died on the day that we think he was born. We're not absolutely certain the day, but we think it was then.
It was St. George's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and Anna?
Yes, the city in England that has more trees per person than any other European city is the lovely, verdant Sheffield.
Sheffield. Nice. Okay, well, they're the answers, but now it's time to decide who has won today's match. Is it Spain or is it Netherlands? And I'm going to Andy for today's decision.
I like the idea of the Tooth Fairy being a mouse.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Spain.
Okay. That's, good call. I like it. All right, so Spain make it through to the next round. That's the end of our match. If you fancy winning some QI goodies, you can head on over to visitengland.com where they're going to be running another competition. There's going to be books and so on. And if you want to get in contact with us in the meantime, just about today's show, you can get us all on our Twitter handles. I'm on @Schreiberland. James?
@Eggshaped.
Andy?
@AndrewHunterM.
And Anna?
You can get me at Wikipedia.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be back again tomorrow with the next match in our World Cup of Facts, and that is, James?
That is Uruguay versus Costa Rica.
Uruguay versus Costa Rica. Okay, we'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.